Hey, how you doing? This is a very special episode of John's Long Box. I don't usually stream on Saturdays, but when Dave Brink is launching something, we all jump in to help our buddies. You know, Dave is making the top 10 collection. Is that what it's called?
No, sir.
No,
It's the
I'm
perfect
wrong. Good night, everybody.
10. Top 10 is your thing, right?
It's perfect 10. Top. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. I do that all the time. Maybe later I'll explain why I say.
By the way, what is top 10 about? Is that a group or is it a character? Or what is
Okay,
it?
I guess now. So Dave has Perfect 10, and it is
Yeah.
the best superhero comic book available right now. Go back it. Let's not bury the lead.
Oh, okay.
It is a
sorry.
great comic book. It's on my favorite site, Fund My Comic.
Yes.
And it's so good that I'm also on Fund My Comic. So it's one-stop shopping. When you're done buying Perfect 10, you go over and you buy Heroic Tales. But the top 10 is in the world of the Patriarch, in the Heroic Tales universe. There's a comic company called Top Comics. And there's another comic book company called Premier Comics. It's based on Marvel and DC. Top Comics has a Silver Age where everything's hokey. Premier Comics, in their Silver Age, everything is more realistic and everything like that. And Premier Comics is pulling ahead. So Top Comics, they're taking all their Bikini Girl and Phenomenal Man and Captain Arachnid and all of these Golden Age, Silver Age heroes, and they're going to update them in the doomed Earth. You know, it's like Crisis on Infinite Earth. Meanwhile, there's poor Eddie from Eddie is Doomed. He can't handle that his beloved comic company is changing. Like, he's 35 years old and his father asked him to move out of his house. So he's freaking out. And then he goes to the comic book store and his comic book company is changing. The company got sold and the new owners want everything for a modern audience. So Eddie is doomed. He just doesn't know how to handle it. And those heroes are called the top 10.
Right.
And you
Eddie
have
is
the
Doomed.
perfect 10.
What's the name of the comic, right? Or the story? Eddie is Doomed, right?
Yeah, Eddie is Doomed is the name of it. We're working on it now. We do not have a release date, but
right.
Yeah.
That's a great title, you know.
Eddie is Doomed.
Yeah, cool. Really cool.
Yeah, it's Tonic Mole, myself, and Oscar Carano are working on it. And Tonic Mole and I forget where we were, but we were on a panel and we were talking about comic books. And I said, oh, yeah, a comic book about a comic collector has to move out of his parents' basement. Like, I just said it to be funny. And Tonic Mole goes, that could be the greatest comic book ever. And then we just started messaging each other while we were on this panel, ideas. And next thing you know, we're working on it. Perfect 10 is a perfect 10. There you go. The Geeky Catholic agrees. Perfect 10.
Wow.
It says hello. 5800 says hello. And Creators Outlet wants to go and have a drink with Brink. Everybody, smash that like button. Yeah, I got to agree. So I already goofed up, but you let me promote something, so that was cool. So let's
sure.
What's going on? What time is it over there? You're in the another planet as far as I'm concerned.
yeah. It's like different worlds, right? It's 11 p.m. where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that late. Okay.
No, it's not that bad. Not that bad. But you know, during these campaign times, I'm used to getting up like late, crazy hours. Sometimes there's a stream like 3 in the morning for me. But that's a good time to reach the American audience.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Needs
You're
to do
on promotion. You're on promotion duty right now. Yeah.
Yes.
You got to be on your best behavior. Wear your nice clothes. Unlike me, you got to shave. I'm just trying to grow the beard back. You know, smile at the camera.
Smile. Yeah. Be presentable. Be funny. Say something insightful. These things.
Dave, right now, I want you to be pithy. Be pithy, Dave. Right now.
I want to, but I don't even know what the word means. Pithy.
I'd say this all the time. English is your second language, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And you got the greatest superhero names. Like, you understand English like better than English speakers, and you come up with like Perfect 10, Calamity. I like the Flying Dutchman. I guess that's an easy one when you're Dutch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go down the list of all your names, but you have you have the sleeper agent also. I asked you if it was okay.
Sure.
They're completely different characters, so we're not going to get confused. But
but I'm like, yeah, for instance, Calamity, and I'm like, why hasn't anybody picked up that name yet? Calamity. It's so obvious, you know.
Well, because in America we got Calamity Jane, you know, a Western legend.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right.
So I guess, you know, but it's I believe it or not, I have one of my friends in my role playing game. He has a character called Catastrophe.
Right.
You know, and what it is they were trying to make like a Hulk-like character, and it went even wrong for a Hulk. So he's like less controlled than the Hulk. So it's fun to play him, but he's too destructive to have as a regular character. So every once in a while, we'll like break out Catastrophe. He's like, oh no,
a lot of randomness going on then.
Yeah. It's like you don't even need to make up a story. You just like wind them up and let them smash things.
Cool,
Yeah,
really cool.
The Flying Dutchman is a great custom.
Thank you.
Of course, now for those of you who don't know, I'm a little bit ragged. I work today. I don't usually work on Saturday, and the Long Island Expressway is the world's longest parking lot. It was bumper to bumper traffic for an hour and a half. I almost ran out of gas. I had to get gas, and I still made it here with 10 minutes to spare. So I'm a little frazzled right now.
Okay. So just this is a relaxed stream, John.
Focus. So tell us about Perfect 10. And I always say top 10.
Yes. Well, that's Well, Perfect 10 is the coolest comic I've ever worked on. It's a superhero book, right? So I primarily make superhero comics. So all the books that I make take place in what we call the genuine verse, the genuine comics universe. It's a superhero universe akin to Marvel, DC, and so we have this character 10, and she wakes up in this world, and she doesn't know anything about it, and she's cast in this war between two factions. So you have the Prime Syndicate, which is like this conglomerate of supervillains, and then you have Division M, which is basically like a worldwide institute that monitors and trains metanormals. And she wakes up, and she has to figure out who she is and what her role is. And during the book, also during the series, you get the idea that there will be a adventure going on even without her. So because this world is there, she wakes up, things are going on, she's in the middle of it, and she influences what's going on. Meanwhile, she has to figure out who she is, and she has to make some tough decisions. And yeah, it's a really cool story. I originally thought I could tell it within 3 books, and that didn't work out. So it's 6 books, 6 issues of 32 pages each, and issue 6 that we're making right now is the final issue of this story.
Yeah, I gotta go back and read. When I get issue 6, I'm gonna sit down and reread them all in one sitting.
Yes, and so the cool thing is, so people really like this series, and I'm very, very grateful, guys. I'm so grateful that I have something that people like, that people enjoy, and so the quality that we have, because we don't have to produce books like every month, right? We make the books. We can make the books at the highest quality we can take our time. So issue 6 will be the highest, the high quality that you're used of the entire series, because I want to conclude this arc with the ending it deserves, right? And I was planning towards this ending, so it's really cool to see it now roll out and to see
so satisfying.
Yeah, and to see myself write it and discover new things even for me while I'm writing it is really, really cool. I'm so proud of this series. It's the coolest series I've ever made.
Yeah, I discovered your comics through Perfect 10, and then I went and I got all your back issues and everything. I say this all the time, even when Dave's not on my camera, that Genuine Comics is my favorite superhero. Right now, it is the best superhero. I hope that my stuff are as good as Dave's superhero stuff. It's so good.
Wow.
I mean, so good. I asked if I could contact his colorist. I look at this Pal Roderick artwork. It's sexy and it's dynamic. I know this is like if you were one of the founders of Image Comics, I don't think Image Comics would have succumbed to mediocrity and bad. You know what I mean? Look at this, because it's action, it's eye candy, but it's well written, and that's what Image was missing. Image was action and eye candy, but it wasn't well written. This is.
I don't know what the reason for that was, by the way. Yeah, well, obviously they didn't hire writers, but my question is, why wouldn't they? You think you have this new company with new characters, and you want to get out of the gate like guns blazing, so the best stuff ever, and then they kind of blew it with the story. So they had kind of cool characters, but
it looked good, like you said, the characters were cool, but I think it was like youthful arrogance. For the most part, they were on the younger side, and they thought they could do it all. They thought that, well, I could draw a Deadpool ripoff with the sword. I can write a story, Yeah,
I think with visuals, it's more obvious when something is good and isn't good, right? So with writing, I think it's often underestimated, because you can't directly show good writing.
Correct.
You have to actually dive in there and figure things out.
Right. I mean, it's comic books. It's visual. I mean, look at that cover right there. You want that comic book. But we don't know if it's writing or not yet until we sit down and actually spend time with the book. But
by the way, I wanted this campaign to be like simple, smooth. So for issue 6, we only have one cover, so no variants, nothing like that. Easy peasy, one cover, just the way we did it with the Perfect 10 book 1 and book 2, and then I started with the variants because of the whole crowdfunding game, and I kind of wanted to tune it back down. So now,
you shocking, Tim. What?
Sorry, Tim.
I'm with you. I went a little nuts with my first issue too, and I agree. I'm going to tone it down, but I do like the regular cover and one variant. I'll probably do that. Yeah. But I think, at work we have a saying: keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Like when we're doing it, I think with campaigns, I do admit that sometimes you click on somebody's campaign, there's so many choices, I get overwhelmed, and then I end up getting nothing.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, I have that with these campaigns from
Tim is writing. He's smashing stuff. He wants variant covers.
Oh no, no, Tim, calm down, Tim.
Dave, you gotta understand. Whatever you do, somebody's gonna get mad.
Yeah, right? I know. With Coffin Comics, agreed. Variants are getting out of hand, though I do often love the art. Yeah,
right.
Well, they're fun to make, but it's like, then you have people. I sometimes feel like I'm like how do you say, milking the the customers. I just want customers to get the book and enjoy the story. I don't want to milk them for like variant here and variant there.
And you said that because I have 4 covers for Heroic Tales number 2. Because each Heroic Tales has 2 characters, 2 stories, one featuring the patriarch, so I made a Mary Sue cover and I made a patriarch cover. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to put them on the same book. So it's a flip book.
Oh yeah.
So there really is 4 covers, but there's only 2 versions of the comic book, because I'm with you. I'm like, I'm going to ask my supporters to spend $40 on really one comic book.
Sure.
So that's what I did. You get,
and
2
if you
covers,
do
one book.
And if you do one variant or one variright.
I do one. I'm going to do one variant. So my variant cover has Josh Howard and Jose Garcia.
Yeah.
So,
of course, you get.
But it is a little gimmick to make a little bit more money. For the most part, you don't have to buy it. And I agree. Like I did 5 covers for my first issue. I thought, even I was like a little disgusted with myself, you know. but I did get to work with some amazing legendary comic book artists, so I don't regret that.
Sure.
Like Mike D. Gilbert and Pat Broderick and stuff.
Yeah, well, then you can't say no, right? When you get your favorite artists to do that.
So this is all 6 issues in one compilation.
No, what you're looking at right now, that's issue 6. So you can get just a single issue because people have bought the previous single issues. This is a combined campaign, right? So, and because I want to thank people who always back me and who like bought all the previous issues. So issue 6 you can get on Fund My Comic for just $10. It's to help. It's to thank everyone who so far supported me. So previous times the books were around $15, right? But I want to, and later this campaign will likely go on Kickstarter and maybe some other platforms, and then the price will be higher. So the best price you get on Fund My Comic.
That's pretty bold. So you're launching issue 6 and the trade paperback of 1 to 6 at the same time?
Yes. Well, yeah. This wasn't my initial idea. I thought I would release issue 6 and then wait 1 year, then bundle them all together, and then someone told me, why not do it at the same time? So you have the hype, that you have the grand final of the series, and along with the hype, you throw in the trade paperback. And that sounded good. So you don't need to rebuild hype for the next campaign, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
Plus, I like to make things easier for people. So
yeah. And this is your breakout character, right? Everybody likes this book. This is, you know, like you said, you had to strike while the iron's hot. You're already thinking of another 6-issue series, or are you going to go to issue 7 with 10?
I have ideas to continue. I could technically write this series forever, but I have so many other characters and concepts, and I know that Pau and I will be doing something else after this, and then maybe later we will return to Perfect 10, because I think it's not really wise to. I have this character that people really like, right? So I could start a new series with a new character and build that through the coming years, but I think it's very difficult. You never know how people respond to it. Plus, I think I can tell I can show the Jamin Comics universe through 10. So if she is the main character, she can like traverse the entire genuine verse, and I can show other characters, new adventures all through her. So I can technically rewrite some things that I had planned for other titles in such way that she's the main point of view.
Okay. Yeah, I like what you did. In the very first issue, she's literally coming out of her capsule. Like she's a synthetic humanoid, and she's born. She I guess she's programmed or implanted with the ability to speak and formulate sentences, but she doesn't have any memory. So she doesn't know who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. So it's kind of cool because we're learning the story as she's learning the story. So yeah, we don't know that who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. Are the good guys pretended to be the bad guys? Are they saying that the bad guys are the bad guys, but they're really the good? It was really fun. It was and you hit the ground running to the point where like I keep saying, Heroic Tales 4 was inspired by Perfect 10. So
thanks.
You'll see.
Yeah, and in issue 6 that we're making right now, a lot of answers will be, or a lot of questions will be answered. So, for instance, some decisions that 10 made, why did she make these decisions? It all has reasons. So everything that happened in the previous issues matters, right? So it all comes back in issue 6.
Cool. So it's a good, satisfying conclusion, and
I think so. Yeah,
I really like it. It's just comics done well, and I go back and forth with Dave all the time because I have a thing for superhero names, and then the joke is I come up with a cool superhero name, and then I go to Twitter and I see that Dave's already making a comic book with that character's name. I'm like, damn it.
Well, oftentimes I have to reach out to American friends. I have this concept for a character, and then I have this English name, and I think that I get it. Like, for instance, this character with the hair, she's called Wisp, right? And I had the name Wisp, I had it written down, and so I reached out to Michael Oden. I was like, "Hey, Michael, I have this character with hair, so I like to call her this. What do you think?" And he was like, "That's perfect, right? Okay, cool." And then I asked some other people, and when all of them say that works, then I'm satisfied, and I'm sure that it works, right?
Yep. What is, I forget. Oh yeah, this is Wisp with the hair.
Yeah.
It's Perfect 10 over here with the blue or a 10. Oh, here's some more. Oh, okay, Power Roderick again. I really like his art.
Yeah,
And
that back cover that is colored by my friend Roland. He's a Dutch colorist,
okay.
and he did the colors for the very first issue, for the first cover. And this is like a callback to that cover. And I thought it was cool to bring Roland back for the final image, so the first image and the final image.
Oh wow! I just noticed over here you got a hardcover too.
Yes.
Oh, because sooner or later I'd like to collect all my comics, and I got to talk to you about hardcovers.
Sure.
That's something I don't want to mismanage. I can imagine that's expensive. But here's all your covers. Look at all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, how could this cover just grab my attention? How could it not?
Yeah.
It's
very and it's fairly simple cover also, right? And so, and it doesn't really tell a story, it just tells the character, but because the story was just starting out, so you don't want to start the cover with all kind of things on it, what's in the book. It's a surprise. This is the first issue, right? Yeah.
And then look at this issue. It's just an avalanche of cool characters.
That cover is sold out, but
yeah, I think, yep. I saw this, and I've been following along. I've been getting every campaign. And then this, everybody loves her. That's Calamity right here.
Yeah.
Everybody loves her.
And that cover is based on a X-Men cover by Jim Lee.
Yes. Okay. I did my first homage cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to reveal it yet. For Patriarch #1, we did an homage cover. I'm not crazy about homage covers, but I got talked into it. This cover is the one everybody talks about. Look at that.
That's a cool one, huh?
Yeah, that's a great cover. And then
sometimes we have so many ideas for covers, and we're like, all right, this is why issues 3 and 4, and 5 were very easy to make like variants for, because we kind of knew there's so much happening, so you have a lot of story elements that you can pull from, right? But with issue 6, it was there was another reason that we decided to do a one cover, because we couldn't really find anything that I really wanted on the cover, something else. So, and I don't just want a character just standing there with, it has to reflect something within the book.
So let me ask you then, because my philosophy on the cover is I want the cover to be done by somebody who does the interiors. You know what I mean? So you got Pow doing the interiors, you got Pow doing the main, the A cover.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a varied cover, I let people know right away, because I don't want them to be disappointed when they open it up. But Renzo Rodriguez's art, you're not going to get disappointed. But I write a script, very detailed, and sometimes the artist will change my panel, stuff like that. That's fine. But when it comes to the cover, I say do it last. Draw the whole comic book, and then do the cover. And then that way you read the script, you drew the script, and I don't give any input.
Right.
And I just let the art. And one of my guys is just like, I get to do the cover. I'm like, yeah, you're doing the interior story. Why wouldn't you get to do the cover? He's like, oh,
yeah.
But so you designed the cover?
No, I just I talk to Pau, and we kind of brainstorm. Sometimes I have ideas like what about, like for instance with issue 5, what about a reflection cover with Calamity close up and then the heroes reflected
Yeah, that's a good
in her
cover.
mask, right? And so we went with that, and then we had the second cover, but neither of these covers of the entire series were made when the comic itself was completely drawn. We couldn't because we had to crowdfund the books, right? So while we crowdfund, we produced the books. Um, but because I know what's going to happen, I can already instruct Pau for some covers, some cover art.
Right. The variant covers I pretty much design and I tell because they didn't
Right.
read the script, they didn't draw the comic. You know, I mean, like Josh Howard, he goes, "What do you want me to draw?" And I sent him a picture of the monster, and I pretty much described the pose of Mary Sue. And then for Jose, he didn't even know what my characters looked like or anything like that. You know, so I was just like this, and I just told him in words. But Renzo, you know, if you're drawing the story, I kind of get a kick out of seeing what you're going to draw. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
read the
yeah.
story, you drew it. You know, so what do you want to do for the cover? Tim Olson's got a couple of points, but we'll get to Tim Olson's points in a minute or so.
All right.
But, you know, I'm going to be sad to see it ended, but I'm glad to know that because your next series is going to be Safeguard.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be a series. This was my initial idea. I wanted to like transfer the Perfect 10 series over into Safeguard, right? But then Alan Goldman wanted to do the Safeguard book, so I'm doing that with him right now. And then so I think so with Pau. With Pau, we're going to do something else after this, and then if I return with Perfect 10, it will just be called Perfect 10.
Okay, so is Perfect 10? Is she a member of Safeguard?
Yeah,
Okay,
she becomes a member. So in Safeguard, it's not clear yet if she's a full member or someone who from the sideline joins sometimes. We'll
okay.
see.
Oh, cool. So she's sticking around. She's sticking. She's got a character. She's a character with legs.
Yeah, plus you need a supporting cast, and the Safeguards are very interesting characters to kind of support her story, and she needs friends and she needs support, you know. So
You know, Safeguard is another one of those perfect superhero names. Like coming for me, it's easy to come up with a superhero name or a supervillain name, but it's tough to come up with a team name. And then I
right,
saw
yeah.
you advertised that you got Safeguard. And I'm like, oh man, that's right there, and it's perfect. And nobody used it before. I'm you know that's a good one. That was a good name for a team. Safeguard,
Yeah.
good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Tim Olson says he thinks it's important to keep your characters going, otherwise people will forget them. But that's what you're doing. 10 is just moving laterally to another comic.
Yeah, but even that has to be done carefully because if I move her into another book as part of this larger cast, and I call the book like Safeguard, then maybe she also gets lost in the mix because it's no longer a Perfect 10. It's no longer the Perfect 10 book, right?
Right.
So maybe it could be two series alongside each other. I
Yeah.
have to.
Thor was in the Avengers and his own comic.
Yeah, yeah.
Wolverine's everywhere.
But I also don't want to oversaturate
Right.
people with her. You know, it's.
Well,
I'm not sure yet.
yeah, we're not on a monthly schedule, so I think it's going to be really tough for us to oversaturate.
Yeah, this is true. This is
Like,
true. Yeah.
but I agree with you because my character, the Patriarch, was in issue number 1, but I had every intention of every issue of Heroic Tales to feature a different character, and then eventually get back to the Patriarch.
Right. Yeah.
And then people are like, but we like him, and I'm like, oh, am I pulling a your boy Zach maneuver over here, and not. He did Jawbreakers and then didn't come back to it for like 7 years. So I'm like, all right, So I put Patriarch in the second issue. Then people like, I think he's strong enough to carry his. So I think I'm going to follow the pattern of each hero has 2 appearances, and then
Right. Yeah. I think I'm often worried too much about all the stories that I can't tell, so I have to make tough decisions.
Yes.
What will we produce and what can't we produce? Some
Plus,
things will never be made, and this really sucks, so instead of Perfect 10, I could do something else, but Perfect 10 is really is something that I think I can do for many years. So maybe that's just meant to be.
right, and you also don't want to just make a comic for the sake of making a comic. It takes a lot of
No.
resources and time and effort. So like if you need to take a break, take a break. You know what I mean? Because putting out a bad comic, one bad X-Men comic a year ain't going to kill the series. So yeah.
No, but if you're like us and you make one bad comic, it could actually damage your brand. Some
Dave
people
hasn't
are,
done that yet. Dave has each issue is a home run. So don't worry
and
about it.
I noticed some people are just waiting for that bad book. That
Not me. Even people I don't like, I want their comic books to be
Right.
good, because a bad comic doesn't help anybody. In the indie sphere, other people putting out bad books affects us. So I want everybody's book to be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if I don't like them, even if they don't like me, I want their books to be good, because a rising tide floats all boats. That's my goal. My goal is to make every book a little bit better. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Whether I succeed or not is up to you guys. Tell me. But
for some reason, the best book is always the book that you're working on,
because you're excited about it. Yes. I wrote a script last night, and I can't wait. I sent it to the artist, and the artist is just like, I'm retired from art. I have my own business now and stuff. So he goes, but I'll draw it in spare time because I still like to draw. And I was
Ron?
like, yeah, sure. What's that? Is
it Ron?
Yeah, Ron. Yeah, yes. So he's like, I still like to draw. So like when I have a free time, I'll do it. So it won't be ready for a long time. And it's been 3 days and I'm already itching. It's my favorite script. It's so good.
Oh really? Yeah. Cool. Yeah,
but it's great. Fun. And then another guy that I work with just sent me page 1 for another story. And now that's my favorite script, because you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not excited about it, then
yeah,
I'm like a giddy little kid. So
this is why I don't get when I read, like, I buy a lot of indie comics, and then I read indie books, and to be fair, a lot of them aren't that great, to be honest, and then I'm like, I'm reading the story and I'm like, really, this was the story that got you excited? It did nothing for me, right? So
if I make court controversy, I think in the indie comics sphere, everybody's an artist, and they pour their heart and soul. Even people I don't like, they put their heart and soul in their art, and they're just like proud of this cool fight scene or the spaceship or whatever, and that they're excited about it. Plus, it's hard to be your own critic, you know what I mean? Because you fill in the gaps, because you know what it's supposed to. But we're not a lot of writers, so I'm not saying I'm the best writer. I'm far from it. You're light years above me. And John Dexter, how that guy is not a household name yet, working for mainstream or writing novels.
I haven't read his book yet.
He's got a comic called Dime Store Detective.
Yeah,
I'm on the edge of my seat trying to.
Really?
He's doing another book, and I'm like, I don't want your other book. Get back to Dime Store Detective. Finish that story. I want to know what's going on. So he messaged me the other day, what do you think? And I said, I think you're the best writer in indie comics.
Wow,
he's so good.
That's amazing. You have to be really clever to write a detective also,
Right. That's why I don't write one. I'm not clever.
yeah. I don't think I can do it either. Sometimes I watch these for some things what you just need to know the ins and and the outs, for instance, these the hospital series, and then you have a series with all these things happening. And I'm like, I could never write this. It's so into the material.
Right. Like I'm
Technical
not
stuff.
joking. I want to write a story about construction workers.
Oh yeah.
That's what I do. You know what I mean? Like now, do I want it construction workers with superpowers, or is it just can I make an interesting story for non-construction workers about construction? I already have a title, building characters. You know,
Building characters.
that's about as far as I've gotten.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a start.
You know, but as far as the story that I just wrote, it was supposed to be a detective story, but I'm not smart enough to write a detective story. So I was like, how can I get around the fact that I'm not smart enough to write a detective? Oh, this works. And it totally changed the story, and it made it. I'm being vague on purpose, but you'll see when the comic comes out. I'll remind you, and then I'll tell you what I did. So it seems like a detective story, but it's not.
Okay, cool. Curious.
A slice of life story. That's what I did with Heroic Tales #1, because I just wanted to, introduce you to my world, but I didn't want to get deep into the lore yet. So I did a slice of life story, and it's funny. The day I launched my campaign, I put on Chuck Dixon. Chuck Dixon has a Wednesday show, and he said all rookie writers always start with a slice of life story, and I was like, and I was like, well, I am a rookie writer. What do you want me to say, Chuck? So,
by the way, I noticed we are now 47% funded, guys. So thank you so much.
oh, cool.
That's great.
Oh, I almost hit the wrong button, and I almost canceled the stream. I was hitting refresh on the. Oh, cool! Yay, we got. Well, there's another backer. I can't back until after. I'm not going to put my credit card information live on screen for some silly reason.
Yeah, better not. Whoa, almost half there. That's I was like, this was the first book of my own that I launched on my own channel. So it was. I was very nervous when I got up this morning, and also on Font My Comic, which is yes, a smaller platform, right? It doesn't have this organic traffic, so you really have to guide people there. So I have to do it through the means that I got. So my little YouTube channel, my little X thingy, but I'm pretty satisfied with 47% right now. Thank you all so much, guys.
You're 50% funded, and you launched in the morning in America. Wait till people come home from work, cash their checks, turn on the YouTube and see. I mean, you did 47% of your goal, and I think most of the people who are into indie aren't aware of it yet because they didn't come home from work, or they just came home from work. Maybe they're having dinner. They're gonna relax and be like, "Oh, Dave's got a comic now. Now it's time to back."
Yeah.
So you're going to do fine, man. But I know that I can't sleep the weekend because I try to launch on Fridays and I can't sleep. My wife, when I launched my first comic on Sunday, she just came down and said, "Look, we're going outside. We're going to a restaurant. We're going to get something to eat. You got to get away from." I was like hitting refresh.
Yeah.
Refresh,
And then you're like, sure, then you take your phone with you and you get these updates constantly,
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, as we eat dinner, I'm here like, bing, bing.
Yeah.
That's the best sound in the world right now. Bing, bing. So we were talking about your I think we talked about this already live, but when you made Perfect 10, I was like, Dave, I have a character named Perfect 10, and I went and I through my role-playing games, I had an NPC, a non-player character. She beat up all my player characters. And she was perfect. So without getting too nerdy, she had the perfect stats. So everyone, like her strength, intelligence, dexterity. So she had the perfect score in all of her stats. And then 10 being a knockout, you know what I mean? And she was a synthetic, she was an android. And Dave was just like, oh, yeah. I don't know if you believe me or not. But then I found the character sheet. I dug, and it was perfect because the character sheet was yellowed. Like, I can't just age a piece of loose leaf. That character sheet is like 35 years old. in my binders.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of it, sent it to Dave.
That was crazy. That was absolutely nuts.
What do we got here? We got a 58 undergrad says, unfortunately, not a lot of great writers in indie comics, and I've also a few that don't. Careful when you say stuff like that. You get made fun of for 3 months. I honestly, when I pointed that out, I was trying to be constructive, but whatever. They all give indie comics a bad name. You both have great quality. Thank you so much. Dave is the gold standard as far as I'm concerned. He makes great quality comics and he ships and delivers on time, and they're awesome. What else do you want? The only thing I want it monthly, but that ain't gonna happen.
I know. Yeah, that would be great monthly, but yeah.
What platforms are we launching on? We're both on Fund My Comic right now.
Yep.
And you said you're going to go to Kickstarter?
It's now in pre-launch stage on Kickstarter. So if you prefer that platform, you can sign up to that. And I might go to Indiegogo because I had backers there also, and I want to. So it makes sense, right?
Right. If you've already established yourself on that site. See, I used Indiegogo. I got 10 backers, and I found it to be difficult to work with, and I was shadow banned. So, but now that they're bought by GameFound, but I'll go back. I'll give them another try.
Okay.
I used to go to board game conventions, and GameFound is a platform by board game companies. GameFound.
Okay. Sure.
And I met these guys. I played board games with them. They're all a bunch of nice guys. If it's the same people, I don't know. That was 5 years ago, maybe, but if it's the same people, I met them. They're nice guys. That I don't think that they would shadow ban me or do political nonsense. I think they'll fix it up and they'll make it good. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and go back. But right now I'm on Fund My Comic. I'm also on when Fund My Comic, the campaign was over, I went to Kickstarter, but
right.
That's the
they just have to get rid of the trust and safety division. That's nonsense. These people need to find problems to validate their own existence, their own job. So get rid of them.
That's funny because I'm a construction worker. We got safety guys, and if they don't come up with safety violations at least once a week, and they're just like, then what do we need you for? The job's safe. So they literally, it's like police. Every once in a while, they just got to fill a quota, so they give you a ticket.
Yeah. When they want to find something, they will find something.
Yeah. So needless to say that there will be a villain in one of my comic books who was a safety inspector on a construction site.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really cool.
I hate them.
Yeah. That's cool.
They're terrible. I was about to say a dirty word.
I have the safety guy in my Safeguard book that Alan Goldman's drawing right now. And he's like minding the safety of one of the people working on the construction site. But this guy is a metal normal, so he doesn't need a helmet, and he's kind of indestructible. But the safety guy's like, no, it's the rules, it's regulations.
My clipboard says that you're doing it wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Like you're supposed to wear safety glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
A little short. So you're supposed to wear safety glasses, but safety glasses aren't designed to be worn for 40 hours a week. They're designed to wear when you drill it. So after a while, your eyes get stressed out. I'm an electrician. I'm making splices, and your eyes get messed up. Sometimes the wires are gray. Sometimes the wires are light brown, and it's difficult to tell the difference. Now, that's a big, deadly mistake. So it even says in the safety regulations that electricians are allowed to take off their safety glasses when they're making splices. I got written up, and I quoted the regulations to this guy, and the guy threw me off the job.
What?
But, yeah, and then it went to the hires up, and I went back. And of course, because I'm a jerk, as I'm going back to my job, I'm giving him the finger the whole way back. And
oh man, yeah, it's that's annoying. By the way, we're 51% funded, guys.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
nice.
Halfway there.
I'm making sure I'm hitting the correct button because I do not. Because sometimes if I refresh the site, I hit the StreamYard refresh and it starts the stream over again.
Oh no!
So let's bring up your campaign. Nice.
Yes.
51%.
Excellent.
AT&T, if you have a tool in your hand, you must have safety glasses on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's annoying.
Holy shit.
Oh, Geeky Catholic says, I got mine. Looking forward to the new issue.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Geeky Catholic.
And Geeky Catholic, I got to tell you, Mary Sue is a Roman Catholic. So
Oh,
yeah.
right.
that's going to be part of her story. I'm so happy for you, David.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
By
the way, guys, the book, so the trade paperback, so the collected edition, we call it the Perfection Collection. I thought of that name years ago, so I'm so glad that I can finally use it. The Perfection Collection, guys, and you can get it as a trade paperback, or we also have the hardcover edition. You can get that. We have combos where you can get the trade paperback plus the single issue. So the collected edition has 192 pages, and that's the base page count because it collects 6 issues. It collects all variants, all variant covers are in there, so all the covers. But as we go, because the campaign will last about 30 days, and if the campaign goes well, I will be adding pages because we have a lot of stuff that we can add. We can add character designs. We can add extra pinups by different characters. We can even add deleted scenes. So we had scenes completely made, colored, everything that I took out of the books because I went a different direction. But we can still publish them. And I can even add completely new scenes. We could make scenes specifically for the trade paperback if the campaign does well. So awesome. The bigger the campaign, the bigger the book.
Nice. That is awesome. That is cool. I'm Dave, you're killing me. I got to get this hardcover.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, and we are being so this is all taken care of by Critical Blast. Critical Blast is the publisher. They do they handle the printing, the publishing, and the distribution of the collected edition, right? So it's so I'll be focusing mostly on issue 6, get that done, and then I will ship my issues over to Critical Blast, and he will take care of the rest.
Yeah, RJ from Critical Blast. I would right now I'm not successful enough to need a fulfillment service, but I can't wait to use RJ. He's right. You get everything's done in like a week. He's a pro at this, and yes, so he's publishing your hardcover. I got to talk to him when I'm ready to do. Because how cool is that to have a hardcover?
Plus, guys, this means that because Critical Blast is in the United States and the books will be produced there, that if you live in the United States and you back one of the collected editions, the shipping costs are only about $12, I think, for a very big book. So that's so to me, if I want the book, I pay double for shipping. It's really crazy. It's my book, but I pay double. So yeah.
So what? Like all the international orders are going to be sent to you, and then you're going to fulfill them?
No. He will do that because
he'll do everything.
Because it will cost basically the same if he ships it to me, and then I
plus he will do it correctly and fast and efficiently.
Yeah. The only things that I will do directly are single issue orders from Europe.
Okay.
So
yeah. That's who was talking about that of maybe getting like a distribution hub in Europe for all of us. That would be good, Yeah,
I think Critical Blast has one in Sweden.
Oh,
if I'm not, but I don't want to name names.
That's not our information to
No.
Yeah. Oh, nice for us. Cool. Yeah. This is good. I'm excited. I'm sad because it's the end, but I'm excited because I want to see the story. But I'm also excited because she'll show up other places.
Well, you also don't want stories to go on forever, right? So at some point, if it's a satisfactory like ending, that's better than story that you never
Right.
know when it's going to end.
Right. And it's your character, so you can make changes. You could disrupt the status quo. You could do whatever you want. That's exciting. Spider-Man. Nothing bad's gonna happen to Spider-Man after a while.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Man, but 70 years of
it has
made the medicine.
This is what Robert Kirkman did right with Invincible. It was one story and was done. And
right, he called the shots and he ended it on his terms. He did the same thing with Walking Dead. Matter of fact, with Walking Dead, he solicited 3 more issues.
Yeah,
and then people like, what? It was the last issue? Like, came out of left field.
The following issues were even featured in the previews,
right,
for the coming months, right? But they never came out.
It was all a hoax. It was all a hoax that people wouldn't know. Zach Dan, I'm with Zach Dan on this. I expected 10 issues. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. But
well, I really love this character. I love the supporting cast. So there will be more 10 in one way or the other. So
I wanted to ask you at the beginning. You said originally it was going to be what, 3 or 4 issues, and then
I thought that I could do it within 3 issues.
Now, let me ask: did you expand it because it was successful, or did you expand it because you realized it needed more room?
Well, I expanded it because the story just grew while I was writing. So
okay.
There are a lot of interesting plot points. And I was like, I can't leave this like this. I have to expand on this plot point here, and before you know it, you have a completely new issue. So yeah, that's
I every once in a while somebody would be like, "Will you read my script?" And I say no because people get mad. Everybody wants feedback until they get feedback. Myself included. So I read somebody's script, and I this was when I was out of work with my broken neck, so I had nothing else to do. So I stayed up to like 6 a.m. and I wrote a long, detailed email. Not destroying this, but I'm saying this is good, blah 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 blah. And I said, consider the fact that I only have 1 comic book out. I'm no pro, you know what I mean? So, and that person didn't speak to me for like 3 weeks, and I thought they were pissed. And I was like, well, but turns out they were rewriting the script. But one of the things it was doing was like, I was like, you're doing the opposite of everybody else. Like everybody else, like takes like they meander or whatever. I said, but you're skipping over really good stuff to get to the end of the story. I said, the journey is part of the fun. Like you're making a 3-issue series, and you have enough story for 12 issues. I said, don't just rush to be done. Give people that 12 issues that this story demands. So I thought it was very positive criticism. And when I didn't hear from 3 weeks, I thought this person was pissed off at me for daring to criticize. Yeah. But it turned out they were rewriting the story. Oh,
great.
So yeah. Do you get that? Because I consider you one of my favorite comic book writers. Do people ask you to criticize their stuff? Give you, here's my script.
It happened a few times, and honestly, I just forget. So then they sent me this reminder. Hey, I sent you. Sometimes they don't ask. They just mail me the script, and I just forget it, or I'm actually not really.
If I say yes, I'm gonna do it. But if you send me a script, I probably won't because
I bought this I can't show it you right now, but I have this thing to mount for a camera, so I could like review comics, right?
Oh yes,
I actually bought that for
I do on my Sunday comics.
Yeah, so actually bought that for my channel. I never used it because I figured I read so many books, and a lot of them are just not that good. And I don't want to review mainstream things because I just don't care. And indie is kind of my space, so I don't want to review books that I have to criticize.
You're at the same point as me. I made 2 bad reviews, One was a Marvel comic, just because I was just like this. It was so egregiously bad that I just was like, I don't care. What is Marvel going to get mad at me? And it turned out to be pretty funny. I actually rewatched that video. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty funny. And then I did one, and boy, did I get lambasted. People made videos about me and said nasty things about me. So I'm not scared to make bad reviews. I just think there's too much negativity, and I don't want to add to the negativity. So, and it's funny because some people will send me a book and like, oh, you didn't make a review. I guess you didn't like it. Well, that's not the truth. The truth is I didn't read your book yet because I still have a million comics that I didn't read yet. But I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
You know,
Same way.
so
sometimes other creators send me a message. Hey, what did you think of my book? Right, and then when they actually ask me,
if they ask me,
I'm
not going to lie either.
I'll tell them in private. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they ask me live and I'm put on the spot and I actually didn't like it, I'll try to be as positive as possible. You know. So, Dave, I hate to be the one to no, Perfect 10 is one of my favorite books.
I'm just lucky, man, that I found something that people like and that I.
Look, it's you're doing the work. Because I'm harsh when it comes to storytelling, meaning the ability for the art itself to convey the story. Because even though Dave and I are writers, I'm flattering myself, calling myself a writer, and putting myself in the same sentence with Dave. But I have to admit, as a comic book person, the art should tell all the story. But it's impossible for the art to tell all the story. So the art has to tell as much of the story as possible, and then we use the words to fill in the gaps that the art can't tell. That's the way it has to be. That's if you don't understand, if you're writing comic books and you think I got to fill it with exposition, you're not doing it right. You got to make it succinct as possible. But anyway, if you take out the words, you should still be able to follow the comic. You should still be able to follow the story. Like Will Eisner is a master at this. Jack Kirby, John Buscema, like all the Marvel guys. Image was terrible at that. So I'm really, really harsh. If you don't get the storytelling, if this image doesn't convey to this image, doesn't convey to that image, you're doing comic books. You're doing comic books right. That's I sometimes I'll look through a couple of pages of not just your comics, everybody's comics, and then try to figure out the story, but not enough to ruin it. And then I go back and I read it, and I'm like, oh, okay, the storytelling's. But you know what I mean? So when you say you're lucky, you're not lucky. You're doing it right. You're doing it right, and you're patient. You're humble. You stay out of drama, which is something I need to learn. And people are starting to realize this guy's doing it right. And he's giving a good product, and he's on time, and it is they look awesome. Your comic is one of the big inspirations for my comic. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You RJ from the Fourth Age.
A lot of my I feel this sounds weird, maybe, right? But I feel constant gratitude, like that I can even do this. So I can do this because people support me, and that I get subscribers to my YouTube channel. That Luke Stone built this platform. There's so many factors, so many people that contribute to the existence of this comic that I'm making, that I'm honored to be making, right? So I feel constant gratitude that I'm in this situation, and that I apparently have some skills that other people don't have. That's just lucky, and I can work with the cards that I've been dealt, right? And so far I seem to play the game pretty well, but and I just hope that I can continue to do this for forever, but you never know. So I'm just enjoying it for now, and I hope that it continues for years. So that.
Cool. Yeah. Good. It's 6 o'clock. I have a show at 7 o'clock, and
Okay.
my wife and I are going to go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's midnight here.
It's midnight here, so
Thank you, John.
I just want to say I'm back in right as soon as I get off, because nobody needs to see my debit card information, and I can't wait for issue 6. You know,
Yes,
I
it will be
back
awesome.
anything by Genuine Comics is an instant buy for me.
It will be great.
Cool.
Thank you, John. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everyone who backed. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marcus, for sharing the links. Thank you all for sharing out this campaign on social media. Tell other people about it. You know. So thank you all.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and guys, you know, Dave is the real deal. I guarantee you're gonna like, if you like superheroes. Some crazy people don't like superheroes. If you like superhero comics, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So thanks a lot, guys. But sorry, but I gotta go get Chick-fil-A. All right, bye.
Bye.